Saga run. And what they're referring to is the donation incentive we have open right now for Yakuza Majima Saga run, currently at 5,700 out of 20,000. I know you guys can get there. Let's see if we can get it before the end of this run. And without further ado, here's KrusKader with Warframe.
Hello everyone, I'm KrusKader, or KrusKader, however you prefer, and this is Warframe, and I'm joined by Megan.
Hello, I'm Megan, and I am the community manager for Warframe.
Okay, so this won't be your traditional speedrun, because to start a new game in this, you pretty much have to make new accounts. So instead, on my already advanced account, I will show you 5 boss fights, each with a different build, because variety is strong point of the Warframe. So
Sparky, right.
I guess
We're all here.
let's get started.
Let's get started.
3, 2, 1, go. So the first boss I'll be showing you is called Profit Taker.
Final
A
phase.
giant corpus war machine that will fight in Orb Valleys, a big snow-dammed open world area. And for this mission I'm using frame called Chroma, which is a dragon warrior. And he even has a spear like a proper dragoon. Yeah. So Megan, do you have something to say about the boss or the frame?
I mean, if you're unfamiliar to Warframe or the Profit Taker in general, if you don't like spiders, you might not enjoy this boss particularly. I know we got a lot of feedback actually when these came out, because this Orb Vallis kind of open world landscape that you're in right now, the arachnoid spiders themselves, the mother orbs, just kind of when it first launched were hanging out in the Orb Vallis, and then slowly over time they became alive, and as you can see here, we're now taking on Profit Taker.
So yeah, Profit Taker has shields which add up to damage, and it shows on the forehead which type of damage I can only use. So I have to switch my weapons around to deal that particular type.
And Profit Taker has pretty much like every arsenal weapon possible. She's got turrets, she's got rockets, she's got lasers. She's really got it all for a spider, and KrusKader's doing a very, as I would have thought, a very quick job of taking down her shields there.
So yeah, once you take down shields, you have to get a heavy gun and destroy the legs. And oops, I accidentally let my damage buff run out. I got it refreshed, but now I have to have it charged again. And it's charged by taking damage.
It's a very risk reward. Take damage to charge yourself.
Okay.
And now we're in the part of the fight where you can essentially use an arc gun to kill the Profit Taker, because you bypassed her shields, and now you can use these big arc gun weapons that typically you'd use out in space, but because he has a Grav-A-Mag installed, you can now use it on land and rain down some heavy damage.
Okay, so Toxin is the only damage type I don't have covered in my kit, so I have to wait a little bit and switch to Operator to change it with Operator's weapon.
Yeah, this was a really interesting concept when we were coming up with Profit Taker and what this boss fight was going to be, because there's many different damage types, and to kind of cover all of them, you have your primary, secondary, melee, and then of course you have your Warframe, and it's like you can have all these different damages, so you're trying to have a loadout that has the most amount of damage types possible, so that you don't have to, as you did, go into spoiler operator mode and change the damage type.
Yeah, so now after hitting the body for the third time, we have pylons again. Normally you have to go next to them, but I have special gun with infinite punch through, so I can just hit them from anywhere. However,
We love a
aim
special
is,
gun.
aim is not that easy, and also I'm being thrown around all the time. And now final phase, and here you have actually a time limit of 5 minutes. However,
Yeah,
I
so this-
usually don't need more than 30 seconds.
I was gonna say, I feel like this 5-minute timer does not apply to you.
Satellite just moved. Nev's crew must have figured out our bypass. It's realigning.
Okay, so now boss is dead. However, I'm waiting for it to drop the loot. And also other reason why I chose Chroma for this fight is because he has ability called Effigy, which drops his spell and makes all nearby money pickups double. So, now I dropped it a little wrong and didn't get double money, but you can get rich very quick by repeatedly doing this boss. So, I guess we could squeeze one quick donation now.
I've only got a few mortars left. Firing them all.
Absolutely, thank you so much. We have a $50 donation from Lady Quicksoat that says, very happy to continue to donate and support to SGDQ this week. Incredibly surprised to see a Yakuza game on the schedule and definitely putting money towards seeing Majima's run.
Get in there, Tanner. Rip out anything you think might help our cause.
We also have a $50 anonymous donation with no comment, but thank you so much.
Okay, so now let's move to the next boss, which was released about a year ago, called Ropalolis. So the boss we fought previously has shields based on the sentience, ancient robots, and now we're gonna actually fight a sentient Ropalolis on the Jupiter.
And this is probably one of the... We have many things in Warframe that are hard to pronounce, or maybe not hard to pronounce, but you just don't know how to pronounce them because they're just so weird. And this is probably one of the, I would say, most popular ones in terms of not knowing how to pronounce it. I still say it wrong to this day. I call it the Ropalolis, and I don't think that's how it's meant to be said. But you say it however anyone wants to.
Actually, I heard some people just call it Ropa, and I think it works well.
Yeah, and also it has the nickname Flydalon because it was, back when we first showed it, it was actually on one of our dev streams, and we referred to it as the Flydalon because at that time when we showed it, it was going to be part of the Eidolon enemy types, but it is more so sentient than it is Eidolon, as you said.
Okay, so now I'm using here Wukong, who can turn into vapor and fly. This actually used to be very quick, but recently it got nerfed and it's now unaffected by anything. You only have base speed of it, which, while somewhat fast, you move faster by just parkouring like I do, but it's good if you want to fly over some pits or avoid taking damage or triggering the alarm, because while flying you're invisible cloud of vapor.
And for a non-speedrunner to be playing this this mission specifically to fight the Rapalis, you'd actually meet the Rapalis outside as you're traversing to get to this spot, because it tries to mess with you on your way there.
Also, you should hear a story during the traversal, but because I have some internet problems, it's unloaded now. So, Ropalolis, he has sentient shields which only my operator can take down. Problem is though, my operator is rather weak, so might get killed, like well wasn't. Now I can use this smoke to fly over those ropes and avoid electricity, and now also avoid this laser which charges this condensator. And I have to charge it, then mount the shielded Ropalolis and just ram him like this. And now that he's weak, I can hit his weak spot.
Yeah, we actually had to integrate kind of like a failsafe when this came out, because when people realized that they could mount the Rapalis and just like ride it around, they just rode it around forever and they wouldn't stop, so they wouldn't be able to finish it. So we had to implement, I think it's like 30 seconds or something, or it'll kick you off. So yeah, you can't ride it forever anymore, sadly.
We
Okay. The rest of the fight is just repeating the same process, so I guess we have time for a donation or two. Okay.
Perfect, because do I have a donation for you? We have a $5,000 donation from Digital Extremes that reads,
Whoa.
the entire team is so excited to see Warframe in this year's Summer Games done quick. A big thanks to KrusKader, DDQ, and everyone involved in supporting Doctors Without Borders.
Thanks,
you,
DE.
On top of that, we also had an anonymous $1,000 donation that reads, my Warframe is strong, attack and we will counter. Now for the Lotus.
Very good.
Also, I forgot to mention, Wukong can cheat death 3 times, and I just died and nothing happened. Okay. I died again, and still nothing. So yeah, I guess we can squeeze one more donation.
We have a $300 donation from Ediot that reads, Atlas T, the Warframe run is here. I've low-key been excited for the Warframe run all week. I can only guess how long it took to be this bad ash at running it. And the fact this is raising money for charity makes me grin ear to ear. Anyway, I'll stop making such harrowing puns. Ordis will just end up with me embarrassing myself. Stay frosty.
Wow. I love to hear it.
And I just died as boss died, but that's okay. You have couple lives per mission, so no big deal.
So it is. So you have done.
And this kind of end tile set here where KrusKader is just gonna, oh my god, I thought he was gonna cloud. Oh, there's the cloud, okay. This is actually one of the more difficult things to traverse, and a lot of people fall into those pits, and it's kind of funny to watch people fall. I fall a lot too, it's fine.
Okay, up next we're gonna have Nova. Wait, no, not Nova. Up next is Titania. And I'm gonna show a boss that was actually reworked recently, the Jackal. Jackal is probably the beginner boss because I think this is the first assassination mission that you get access to, isn't it?
It's the first Corpus assassination mission, so it's the first Corpus boss you meet, and yeah, this Jackal is one of the literally oldest Warframe bosses we have, but as you mentioned, we recently reworked him, so way better than what he was. Still obviously easy because it is one of the first Corpus bosses that you meet, so it is an easy one in terms of player difficulty when you first start, but he got a whole new tile set. This tile set is the Corpus Ship Remaster that was also redone to include the Jackal, and as you can see, Titania's making mincemeat of this tile set.
Also, fun fact, I have this speed buff on her which I can stack up to 4 times. I was however only using 25% of it and still bonking a lot. So imagine how fast this is on the 100% of power, and I can make it even stronger.
And here we have the dubiously named Popcorn. No longer Popcorn, but...
So Titania in her fairy mode has twin pistols, which fire really fast. And what you do in this fight, you destroy the leg, and then you wait this cross laser behind the pillar. Or I can just fly above with Titania. Oops, I'm out of energy, but that's okay because I have to switch later to my normal mode to do this finisher move. And this moves us to the second room.
Yeah, the Jackal's kind of like a classic quadruped fight where take out the legs, hit the body, and kind of rinse and repeat. But it was fun to add this kind of second room phase where he does get a little stronger, but KrusKader is
Fun fact
gonna...
about second room here, Wait, where was it? Oh, there is a small ledge where you can stand. I just avoid all the lasers.
Don't tell me that, I'm gonna fix it.
Anyway, I think we can have time for a donation or two now.
Absolutely. We have a $100 donation from Zopni that reads, "Hi, KrusKader and Megan. Greetings from the Warframe speedrunning community. I'm so glad to see that Warframe is back in the marathon scene supporting MSF since our Tenno Without Borders. Keep up the great work. You are doing a fantastic job supporting an awesome charity. P.S. Kella is the best boss." We also have a $25 donation from Andy that reads, "Good luck, KrusKader, on the speedrun. Show them how to go fast."
Okay, and this is the final spin. Now Jekyll is gonna spin 3 times around. So that's 1, 2. And now the third and final spin. And yoink. Jekyll is finished.
Well done, Tenno. You have sent a clear message to the corpus today.
Now we can extract.
Will not go unpunished.
Father Scrannon, your secret
Also, if you spend some time on the Corpus ship tile set, the treasure spawns, and he just spawned right now. I think that's one of the earliest time spots he can spawn. Because
Yeah, he's a
that was-
fun guy, that treasurer.
Yeah. He has pretty nice lines. Okay. Next is gonna be Nova, and with her I'll show only boss that you fight in the outer space Arkwing, the Jordas Golem. So this boss has 2 phases. One is on the ground, in the derelict spaceship, and the second one is in the outer space. And the frame I'm using, Nova, moves by pretty much spamming portals which propel her forward. And she also has really crazy sprint speed, as you can see. So all I just want now is that I won't get too many twisty corridors like this one.
Yeah, I feel like being able to traverse with Nova's wormhole effectively is a skill in its own, because this just like, it scrambles my brain trying to do this as well as you do.
Yeah, it's sometimes confusing when you get a warp for the long distance you didn't expect to get. Anyway,
I get lost
here we
just
have the
walking
first
straight.
mini boss, and I'm gonna cast this skill which normally slows down enemy, but I have built it so it speeds them up, so it reveals weak spot faster. Now I switch to operator and I'm in void mode to charge up the damage buff for the next phase.
That Juggernaut literally lasted 0.5 of a second.
So now the ship is falling apart and we have to go into Arkwing.
I told you not to come.
And now we meet the giant gas chicken, as it is now dubbed.
Jordis, what kind of cephalon are you?
So we have down this giant infested mutation merged with the spaceship. And its only weak spot are the engines at the back. And it died in 1 hit. That's how hard hitting is my canon.
Poor guy. Yeah, the Jordis is essentially like leaving moldy bread in a microwave and it becomes sentient and just kind of has its own little world out here.
Lost little things.
And then like any good lore game, you gotta wait for the lore
Infestation ahead.
to end.
It's
Yeah.
engines! Shoot out the engines!
Thank you, operator.
What would I have done if I had lost you?
They won't be bothering
Okay, So that's almost all the bosses I wanted to show, but there's one more left. And that's the ruthless of them all. The toughest of them all, the one and only Sergeant.
Oh, I feel
Or-
so bad for him.
Or, as I like to call him, the Iliad tileset, because we fight him on the Iliad node.
Oh, very good.
Oh, one moment, I forgot. For this boss, I'm gonna be doing him in the Steelpuff mode, which has plus 100 levels, and enemy health, armor, and shields multiplied by 2.5. So, he's quite a tough guy. And for this
Oh,
boss,
I like
I'm
that.
using the Gauss, the speed frame, who literally looks like Pepsi Man. And first thing I'm gonna do with him is shift into maximum overdrive. And then just
We contracted
go.
mark. You are here to find your mark and eliminate the assigned target.
Oops.
If only walls weren't a thing, you'd be on your
And
way.
he's so fast that actually doors don't open fast enough for him.
So
It's
fast,
like-
doors don't work. Yeah, the sergeant is
And
he's
that's
an
how I
old
beat him.
boss.
Well, first he disappears. So I have to wait a little bit. Come on, where are you? His specialty is being invisible and running away. Oh, there he is. So I'm gonna use this shotgun to open him to finishers, and then slam a Jama with hammer. And he's done.
Oh no! Poor guy. Didn't even stand a chance.
Now get to extraction.
Yeah, the only thing he's got going for him is his invisibility, but poor guy. He needs a rework.
And that's gonna be time, because that's all the bosses I wanted to show today.
Yay! Great job.
And you might also heard my favorite Teshin's quote, because he says various things when you complete a Steelpuff mission. Anyway, this was all from me. I hope you enjoyed. If you're interested in what builds I was using, I have video ready, just needs to make it public, not private. If you want to try speedrunning Warframe yourself, the game is free to play on PC, Switch, Xbox One, and PS4, and we have very active Discord with many people willing to help. And I also would like to give shoutouts to DE for making this awesome game, and to Megan for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of the speedrunning community and GDQ, so thank you for inviting me.
Oh, actually, one more thing. I saw some people asking if I would show Eidolons because they're a very cool fight. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee that it will be night during my showcase, and as it seems, it was day all the time, so I wouldn't be able to show them anyway. But maybe some other time. So anyway, that's all from me. Thank you.
And thank you so much to KrusKader and Megan for that awesome Warframe run. We did get a few donations in during that for that run, so I'm just going to quickly read them off here. We got a $20 donation from Clay Rogers that says, "I'm so glad you're running Warframe at GDQ, and you got Megan to commentate. Thanks for making my day and helping out a great cause. Also, shout out to the IT team over at GDQ for keeping these streams running as smooth as they can." We also got a $25 anonymous donation that says, "Surprised and excited to see Warframe in GDQ. Love the events, games, and everyone involved." We have a $32 donation from Scarth that reads, I'm super looking forward to this Warframe run. It's always fun for me to see the way that different Warframes, weapons, and mod setups change the way that the game plays, especially between different fights. Best of luck on the run. And with that, we're going to quickly show a quick Twitch ad. Be back soon. And welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick. We have a $20 donation from Moti with no comment. And looks like we are ready for our interview here with YellowKillerBee and Buffet Time. So let's send it on over to them.
Hello, everybody, and thank you again for watching Summer Games Done Quick 2020. I am YellowKillerBee, and I am joined here today by Buffet Time. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Hello.
The game that Buffet is running is Half-Life Alyx. It's any percent no spin, and this is a momentous occasion because I believe it's the first VR game that's going to be featured at a GDQ, and it's a bonus game. So you guys have to donate to meet that incentive if you want to see this game. Now, we are making really good progress, but we still have a ways to go. So I'd like to encourage you to go right now and donate because this is a run that you are not going to want to miss. So first of all, I just want to say thanks so much for bringing this game, Buffet Time. And how in the world did you get into running Half-Life Alyx?
Yeah, no problem. So the quick summary is, so I've been a big Half-Life fan since at least like 2006. So like I remember when the last Half-Life game came out, and Half-Life 2 Episode 2 back in 2007. So I would have played that around that time. And that was 13 years ago. So that entire waiting time, I was there waiting for the next game because a big fan, and then massive like holdover, like cliffhanger wise.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally at the end of last year, they announced this game. So then I'd wanted to got VR for a while, but then I finally did the poll and got the index just for this game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then I mean when the game came out, I played it, and it's now my favorite game ever. And I was like, I've never done VR speedrunning, but this game is really cool, and I want to check it out. So
Yeah,
that's how it happened.
I think a lot of people can relate to that, you know, waiting for the next Half-Life to come out. So it's cool that that's kind of what got you into VR more than the other way around. We actually have a social media question that wants to know something that I also want to know. SinSpitterX says, have you been speedrunning motion sickness as well, or have you been immune to VR messing with you too much? I mean, obviously there's such a physical element with VR that isn't necessarily present in other games. So how do you deal with that?
Yeah, so It's actually surprising that, especially when you guys will be watching the run, like the things that I'm doing definitely look like it would be motion sickness inducing. But actually, in the no spin category, most people don't really have an issue. However, the other category, which why it's called no spin, the spin category uses a bug which does continuously spins you and you like move around. And a lot of people have like motion sickness with it because it's just like really jarring.
Mhm.
But, like, in no spin, I just never have an issue, even when I'm flying, like, at whatever speed through out of bounds, like, I just don't even feel it really.
Mm. Yeah, I think you said there was only like 2 times on the leaderboards for that other category, just
Yeah,
because it was so difficult to run that physically. Is this game
yeah.
difficult physically in other ways? Because you do use a combination of controller movement and like real life moving the headset around as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like, crouching, laying down, popping up, and moving around. Some points, so like you can even do some like diving to like improve your time, like sprinting, all these other things. There's so much you can do in real life along like outside of just the game itself. But like some of the core glitches in this category do involve like uh, bringing your head down to the ground as fast as possible, and then popping back up to like gain height and like go down and whatnot. So it is definitely a very physically intense category and just game in general. But I think that's sort of expected in VR. But there's a lot of different types of people that are playing the games, and also there's a little bit of a difference with like people who are taller and shorter in some spots, actually.
Sure. So like that's an advantage or disadvantage that normally you
Yeah.
might not have. Well, I think we're all looking forward to seeing that if this bonus game gets met. Some of the more physical aspects of things. Have you ever broken anything while doing all of this movement around?
Not yet, thankfully. I have knocked over my water multiple times, but luckily both times it just went onto the carpet and I just had to like clean that up. Or like I've really nicked my fingers,
Mm,
but like I've gotten pretty used to not hitting anything. I mean, I've tapped my monitors a few times, but
sure.
nothing's broken quite yet. I'll try and keep that up.
Yeah, let's hope for no marathon luck. First time breaking something. You did say you broke some things in game, though, sometimes unintentionally.
Oh, the game is, I mean, it's VR is a very complex thing and new. So you'll just be playing and then just something that's never happened before
Hmm.
just happens. And also everyone like will be like, wait, what? How did that even happen? And most of the time it's not even useful. It's just like, oh, the game just sort of froze, or it's like, oh, this mechanic just doesn't work for some crazy reason. It's
Hmm.
weird.
So we have to wrap up here, but I do want to ask you really quickly, what would you tell people who are considering getting into VR speedrunning?
Well, if you have VR, then there's really no reason not to try it at least.
Hmm.
There's a lot of good communities for all the different games, and also, of course, the Half-Life Alyx community. If you go to the Discord, which you can see on the speedrun.com,
Hmm.
uh, there's all the sorts of resources and everything for you to get into it. So just try it if you can.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for hanging out and chatting with me. Everyone, don't forget this is a bonus game. So if you want to see this Half-Life Alyx run, the first VR game run at a GDQ, you have to get those donations in now. That's on the schedule for a little bit later today. Again, buffet time. Thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me.
Yep, thank you.
All right, you guys, coming up next is the Mega Man 9 Any% race, so make sure to stick around for that. I'm YellowKillerBee. Have a wonderful afternoon.
And thank you so much for that awesome interview to YellowKillerBee and Buffet. Buffet time. Super, super awesome interview. Coming up next, as YellowKillerBee said, we have Mega Man 9 any percent race between Slurpee Ninja and HJA. Before then, we have a couple donations. We have a $100 donation from Magic Shawnson that reads, very surreal and very cool to see Warframe, the game I work on every day, being run at GDQ. We also have a $10 donation from Ridge109 that says, wow, that Velocity figure is so cute. So here's $10, $5 for entering, $5 for making me go, aww. Let's all raise $5 more for MSF and Velocity.